I'm gonna do to start out with, just kind of, you know your character background, you know yours, correct? I mean, you pretty much, you can tell everybody. What about you two? You don't.
I know basic.
I'm gonna read y'all's, and then you can add to what you want to it.
Yeah, I have you too.
Well, I'll start with Jennifer. Jennifer's name she is a first level cleric. Elora Dawn is her name. You live in Icewind Dale. You're a native of Icewind Dale in Forgotten Realms. You've lived there your entire life. You've lived on your own since you were in your early teens. Your parents both died when you were young, so you were forced to take care of yourself for most of your life. This has made you very independent and stubborn. You're set in your ways and very straightforward. I figured out from last time we played. You took up the arts of healing when you were young, never being formally trained, but at a young age you did study as a student for a short time in the arts of healing, but never pursued a career in choosing to remain on your own, making your own life. You have a barbarian look, I guess, because you've lived in the tundra for all your life. 6 months ago you took up hanging out with these guys right here, and been traveling with them ever since. Most of you guys actually the entire adventure starts, y'all pretty much hang with Rookie over here, John, with his character named Kalis, the Dwarven Warrior. He does a lot of wood carvings and shit like that, to where y'all trade with the towns and stuff of what he sells, and y'all just adventure with him. That's how y'all pretty much met, and how y'all hang out together and what y'all do. You're mostly just traveling companions. Recently you've had a desire to get back into the clerical arts. You're trying to learn more about your deity and your faith, and you got a deep love of helping others, and you have no use for evil of any kind. I'm not necessarily looking at Kalis over there, the gnome thief.
Like you were.
Oh, wow, it's funny how his was right up under your character.
How about that?
Felthorn.
Don't
There's
go.
one thing on her profile I didn't
Don't go
understand.
there.
She was very tanned. She lived in Icewind Dale all of her life, which is always.
Well, I mean, you do have
Which is
sun
all
light,
tundra.
even though it is still cold and rig. The sun is out.
I got
She's out
ice
in the
burn.
Yeah. All right.
Tan in bed.
All right. You're in your early 20s, shoulder length black hair, flowing as well kept. Yeah, well defined and muscular body. Felthorn prefers to dress in browns, tans, and other natural colors. He's a ranger, human by the way, a human ranger. It's allowing him to better camouflage himself in the terrain he loves. Felthorn has a strong love of nature. He is consumed with bringing peace to the world, especially to the forest and the creatures that live in it. When confronted with evil, Kalis.
Wow. Twice.
You don't tolerate evil either. You got a whole party full of people.
Yes,
that,
he does.
I'm not evil.
Yeah,
I'm just a neutral.
you have a whole party of people that ain't really got no use for evil. You better be careful.
He does tolerate it. Read the thing what he's got.
Consumed with bringing people, blah, blah, blah. When confronted with evil, he attempts to extinguish it, when he confronted with evil, he attempts to extinguish it with kindness and an example. However, if provoked, so you're going to be like his guiding light. You're going to be like, now look here, little guy. I don't really think you need to do that because you know this fella right here is going to kill you. So,
Wow.
So yeah, you're going to be like his conscience that sits on his shoulder. This is going to be.
Who, him is going to be my conscience?
No, you're
No,
going to be.
you're gonna be his. That's good. You're sitting by
That's
because
gonna
I mean,
cause
just
me
like
and you to clash a little
That's
bit.
basically it. I mean,
So I thought you were a wizard.
No, I'm
Kalis?
Cavalier. James wanted me to be. He said the wizards wouldn't like me because
Kalis.
I'd be a
I mean,
I'm not gonna do what
Il
you
Wiki
say.
Mickey, knock yourself out. Lord help us, here it comes.
No,
Okay, I'm a gnome philanthropist.
Philanthropist.
Can't get it. Yeah.
Thief.
I
don't roll too well.
I like to have fun. I just enjoy hanging out with my best buds. sure that you were all doing the right thing.
And we feel loved.
And
Jesus help us.
So here be him.
Yeah. He just loves y'all.
Yeah.
He just loves
He
y'all.
loves everybody. By what I read, he always gets in trouble with them.
Honestly, I don't know what
But it's
happened.
never his fault.
It's
It's
not.
not.
I know
No,
it's
it's-
never his fault. Yeah.
Now,
Pretty no fault of my own.
He's a little bit like Hasselhoff, except he's a little bit more evil than Hasselhoff.
he don't
Wow.
mean to be, though.
Yeah, you don't mean that.
All right, now
It's gonna make a big.
I have coached Brother Man here.
Brother man.
Yeah, Brother Man. I have, black people in D&D. You have to help them a little bit.
Shoot, I know. I've seen
No,
something play
no.
that shit out of it.
The thing that I told him, I said, think Lord of the Rings.
You got a good 20-sided.
Mhm.
That's basically what.
I
it is.
said,
That's what you
think,
need.
think Lord of the Rings, and what would Gimli do?
Oh God.
That's basically what he is. He's an older version of Gimli. So y'all have to take in consideration he's never played. So he's gonna be a little green around the collar here.
But now, and also you'll be safe, because when you charge into battle, I move faster than you do. I'll get there before you will.
Wow.
Oh, and we have concerns about ill. As y'all are traveling through the snow, because you're in Icewind, and snow's like 5 foot deep.
Oh yeah, who's
You may
carrying
just
him?
disappear.
3 foot taller.
Maybe we need to get a rope or something. You can tie a rope around him in case she does. I'm just saying.
Are we throwing him up on his shoulder?
Oh yeah, you
Have we got carrying duties for ill?
You get to carry him.
You sit him on your
Oh
shoulder.
God!
He's the strongest of the whole bunch.
And it just so happens that at this time when the adventure starts, y'all are
Yeah, but he's
a blizzard is moving in. There's a blizzard coming in.
Yeah, go figure. We playing this at
That's
the
why
right
I'm gonna
time.
tell you, make sure you got a white winter traveling coat, because your greens and all is gonna clash there in the snow. Like my black armor.
Yeah, what
I
did
got
you
I
buy?
got a white winter traveling
It
coat.
wasn't in the book, so I didn't know to buy it.
Well, I mean, that's just easy stuff. Common
But then
sense.
it should already
Well,
be-
We got it
well,
right.
it's got a winter traveling coat. You can make it any color you want.
Yeah.
Just make it white. It don't
Might
say
be
what-
good for camouflage.
It don't say what color it is, so you just make it any color you want.
It didn't say that on there. I don't think you put that on.
Well, you got a traveling coat, just make it white. Just put white by it. That's what I did.
All right,
That'd be
well,
a good
finish it
idea.
up.
I can't read. You know I'm blind.
Just tell them. Or do you want me to read it off word for
You
word?
want me to read what I had originally written?
Oh, I thought you'd just tell them off the top of your head.
I made a lot of mistakes and to read it.
Well, here, I mean, I've got it right here if you want me to
I
read
don't
it.
know if it's chattel, shell, or what did you say my name was?
Shell.
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 I'm a shell.
I done told you to change your
Shell
name.
rhymes with,
Michelle?
Oh, well, I was.
Rhymes with retarded.
Shell has lived a chaotic life because of his belief that all good races deserve his protection and help. This belief has caused conflict between him and many of his elven brethren, which in turn has made him mostly a loner at a very young age. He also tries to hide his kind heart because it has been used against him many times. Chell, everybody said Chell.
Whatever you want it to be.
Chell's kindness is not wasted on evil. He will destroy those. Chell's kindness. Man, I can't even read
Keep
my
it on.
glasses. Chell's kindness is
You'll
not
kill
wasted
evil
on
quick.
Trying this is my first time doing
which
it.
he will destroy with extreme prejudice. He will not tolerate evil or those who protect evil with their arrogance. Chell has started traveling with a group of adventurers, which he likes very much.
Pay attention, Ill.
But of course, he would never let them know that. He made an oath to himself several years ago to never let anyone use his kindness against him again. The ranger Fellhorn,
Felthorn.
Remember, just think of fell on a thorn.
Felthorn.
That's how we remember
Felthorn,
that.
Okay. Felthorn, he thinks of as a brother. The cleric Eldor.
Alora
The
Dawn.
cleric as a sister.
Elora.
Alora as a sister. The dwarven warrior or whatever his name is.
Kalis.
Kalis.
He's horrible with. I swear I want to hit him sometimes.
As a father figure, the little gnome he likes just fine, and hopes that the little fellow can control his evil tendencies, so he will not have to. Long pause in the near future. Chell is of noble birth. His family is in the upper noble ranks.
I
of the
shrunk
city,
it a little bit on the webpage, by the way.
in the city of whatever that stupid city is. The last major stronghold in the Forgotten Realms. The city is protected by powerful magic and the Elven Silver Knights. Chell serves and is a ranking member of the Silver Knights. Because of Chell's nobility, bearing, comeliness, which is beauty, and charisma, others want to follow him and be his friend, which he takes very seriously and never uses it against them. Chell is a very young moon elf, only 150 years old, but you cannot tell that by his actions and deeds.
So would he automatically attack Dritz?
Who?
Dritz.
Well, you don't.
Is he evil?
Well, he's a drow.
You know, dress.
No, not exactly. I don't care what race you are. I have to see.
If they're
that's-
evil, that's it.
That's why the elves. I have problems with the elves because they have prejudices against other races. I don't.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I
don't know
like.
whether or not being a
I
dog.
like all good in the races. Now, not evil. If it's an evil human, an evil
Yeah,
They in
person,
trouble.
or
I
whatever.
like everybody too.
Yeah, we know.
But now, no matter what the race is, if that character is good, then I'm going to protect him if I can.
Didn't say it. I'm chaotic
All right.
good.
Anybody got
That's
anything?
good. He just likes to get in trouble.
Well, you can be neutral just so you don't do evil around him.
No, he just has a tendency to
He
have it following.
he can be fine, but what his problem is that he, by his alignment, he can do evil as well as good without the thought.
Oh.
Like if, say, you're a good person, you got something he wants, he wouldn't think no more than killing you and taking it with evil. It's just he doesn't distinguish between the two.
He's
But
neutral.
But he's smart enough to know not to do it in front of us.
Well, and plus he's got friends too. He wouldn't do it to his friends. So I mean, it's in his alignment and it's in his character. But from what I have gathered from how he said, he's not going to do nothing like that to his friends.
As long as we stay friends, we're good.
As long as
As long as we stay good.
Yeah, as long as you stay friends.
I
with him.
mean, you know,
All right.
I mean,
Now
Now,
I'm gonna run it around the table real quick, just for his education, to give him an idea. You've got an elven, basically an elven knight, walking around. He's in plate armor. I'm talking about elven plate armor. Looks all fancy. He's rich and noble. He ain't scared of a fight. If there's a fight and it means he's got to get into it, he wants to be the first one in it.
he's protecting everybody.
You are just a dwarven warrior. I mean, it's like I say, Gimli. You know, that's just about how you are. You ain't scared of a fight. You ain't gonna back down from a fight, but you ain't stupid either. Like him. I mean,
Wow.
you know,
I'm
now
not
he
stupid.
hit that.
I'm not stupid. I got a high intelligence. Or 14.
He's stupid. But
I'm brave.
you look
Yeah, that's the term.
stupid.
You don't run in and protect everybody.
You are kind of more like a father figure to the group because you're an older dwarf. So you kind of look at the group as your children. That's how you kind of look at them.
God bless him.
We'll skip Il Wiki Mickey because Il Wiki Mickey is a little gnome that loves everybody in the group. Y'all are his best friends. He can't. I mean, he's not
We're his
sure.
only friend.
Well, pretty much. Yeah. You're his, there, but he don't look at it like that. He's got plenty of friends. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
There's just some misunderstandings in his past that really shouldn't have never been there. But
Is he
the
gonna
group-
fit in like the backpack, or is he gonna fit like in like a
I'm
little
telling
belt
you,
sack?
3
Three
foot.
something?
3 foot 8.
I swear, I'm telling you, you're going to tie a rope around him or you're going to lose him in a drift.
Yeah, I think the snow.
Or-
Well, 3 foot's a little bit bigger than fit in like
It's
a
beneath
sack.
his status to tote ill, so that's going to fall on Joe.
Put it on his shoulder. He's
Really?
just-
We ain't 100% sure we not going to
I'm
lose
not
him.
that heavy. I'm not really good
How tall is
at
your dwarf?
He's just 4 foot, so.
Dude,
Well, you put a 4 foot, 3 foot, you got
I'm
a
5
7 foot. You can see over
All
there.
right.
Yeah, but we
4
thought we
foot
could
what,
lose
9?
them.
Do we have like a little
I got a
sled?
high decks. I don't weigh very much.
I'll,
I'm not gonna sink
hey,
into the
That's
snow
true.
that much.
I'll tie a rope around
So
my
it's
back.
got, you know, you
Oh,
ever
yeah,
see
you gotta look out
Legolas,
for
how
that.
Legolas ran across the top of the snow? That's basically.
Yeah, I can see
You
that.
got
You got
snowshoes
you got
on?
snowshoes
No,
on.
I'm just. He's
He's very
this
nimble,
tall,
so he
he
can
only
probably.
weighs-
You know, that does make a little bit of sense. He's very nimble, so.
Reyes was magical. That's why he ran across the snow.
Well, true.
Yes.
We're gonna have to make some allotments for her. This is gonna be a long
We either
adventure.
gotta have
They can't
snowshoes
move
or
with a
they
6
got.
movement rate, so it
Oh,
ain't
dear
like
God,
they're,
no.
they're gonna swap them.
We gotta put them on a sled or something.
I'll
We'll
say
just
you're
slide 'em.
traveling on heavily traveled roads that are no, they're not really heavily because you're in the
No.
middle of a blizzard.
Yeah.
But we'll ad lib a little bit. And now like I say, I'm not sure how long he'll live.
3 foot. I was thinking about.
And
his
everything
height.
that's gonna attack us is gonna be on the road.
Oh God.
More or less. Joe is pretty much a traditional ranger. I mean, you really he feels more comfortable in the woods than he does in cities. I mean, it doesn't bother him to rent rooms, and it's just like if y'all go to town to bed down for the night, he's liable to just go out to the woods and climb in a tree and go to sleep. I mean, that's just
Yeah, go ahead.
he's a
do that.
ranger.
Tree down.
This one's over the tree
Not
again.
that many trees.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then you got a traditional cleric, just about more of a outdoorsy cleric because of where you were raised, but you're pretty much a traditional cleric.
You throw a little bit of druid in there with him.
Not
He
really.
is a druid. His parents were
Yeah,
druids.
but his parents were druids, and they wanted him to be a druid, but he
He's
bucked
more
on that.
magical than his druid.
But he that's why he left and went off and pursued being a ranger because he didn't want to become druids like his parents.
What did you say about mine? I forgot.
Pretty much a traditional cleric,
was
nothing out of
raised
the
in it.
ordinary. Yeah. What's your alignment count? Good, ain't it?
Chaotic good.
Yeah.
I'm
That's what's
good.
there,
It
yeah.
just has to have a little
More
chaos.
druid stuff in there since she's outdoorsy cleric.
Yeah, don't work like that. If anything, I mean,
That's how we
she'd be
know
more
each other.
shamany than anything. She'd
So
be
that's
more
gonna
like.
be
Yeah, my
druid.
character looks more
Not really.
shaman.
All right. The original intro to this, and I'm just going to read it off to give you an idea of what's going on. And then this will be the way we're going to throw y'all into this adventure and make it as easy where we don't have to say, okay, you're in a tavern. Like the normal.
Please.
Winters in Icewind are harsh. And Icewind John, is in the far north, about as far north as you can go before you hit solid mountains. And Icewind is like pretty much where outcasts end up hiding. It's like if you get into, well, like Eel.
Not everybody's out, yes.
No, but I mean,
We chose to
you
get
find
away.
more in Icewind Dale than you do in normal other areas in Forgotten Realms because it's just that it's so hard for people, like trade routes and stuff. I can't hardly get up there to it because of the inclement weather, and it snows almost year round in Icewind Dale. You have like 2 months worth of summer and spring, to where the lakes melt enough to where they can go out and fish. And that's where fishing is the major market up here, and bone carvings and stuff from the fish, and then wood carvings and stuff like you do.
They'll cut holes in the ice and fish.
Yeah. Well, no, it actually thaws out enough where they can put the
will
boats
cut
out.
holes in
Right.
ice, too.
So he come up there. He went to Icewind Dale. What was the original reason you went up there? Oh, you went up. They requested they needed your help with something in the past, and you ended up meeting up with everyone else, and you just kind of stayed.
Well, they requested a night to come up there, and I just happened to be around chosen.
And then you live up there. You live. There's a clan of dwarves, clan Battlehound. You're part of the clan, but you don't like living. You're a dwarf, but you don't like living underground. You like being outside. Yeah, I know. Got a whole.
We don't have
Guy
very many
issues.
dungeons in this area.
Well, I mean, he's not claustrophobic.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
there. He was claustrophobic.
He
not to the
was-
point to where he can't go in a dungeon. He won't. He'd rather be outside.
He was frightened about it.
You're like point in case where you kind of ended up in Icewind Dale. Of course, you wanted to go there in your mind, but you ended up in
He's
there.
like, what's the little guy's name? in
Probably
there?
some assassins was chasing.
I don't think we ever did a
Nobody
story on you.
stole
No, I'm
from
talking
us.
about what's the little guy's name on that runs with the Battle Hammer and Dritz. in
I
our stories?
forget.
Oh, Regis.
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 Yeah, that's Regis.
What is he, a halfling thief?
He's a halfling.
Yeah.
Yeah, halfling thief.
Yeah.
I grew up there.
But he's the
He was
same
around there.
basically.
You came from the south. I don't remember. I don't think we did a storyline on you why you ended up there, but you just kind of came from the south years ago, and
If all my one true love.
Oh, dear
well, that's
God.
up to y'all.
No, I think I'm a little bit
All
younger
right.
than you, hon.
You and your friends have been traveling from Kelvin's Cairn to Brian Shander when the storm hit, a fierce storm, one that has not been seen in many years. You are used to the snow, though. You have lived in it or around it most of your life, most of you guys. This was the original write-up for a different adventure, a group of people that was already there. I'm just reading it off again. Y'all get the idea. Icewind Dale is one of the most beautiful places in all of the realms during the winter months. And after another couple of hours, you guys are, like I say, y'all are traveling right now. And it's not going to be, this ain't going to be anywhere, any encounters or anything like that. I'm just setting y'all up. Y'all been going after another couple of hours. The storm seems to be easing off, and the group can see the town of Brian Shander, or Byron Shander. Is it Brian? Brian
I thought it's
Shander.
Brian Shander.
In the distance, you can smell the food. The smell of food drifts past you, which causes thoughts of a warm bed and a hot meal to cross your mind. As the party enters town, and this is y'all. I'm basically setting y'all up. You're in, but I'm just giving you the bio of it. As the party enters town, you make your way towards the Bed and Pillow Inn, one of the more popular places to eat outside of Kelvin's Cairn. Entering the inn, many familiar smells hit you. Several familiar faces are here as well. On the lower floor of the inn, there are only maybe a dozen or so people enjoying meals. There's a traveling minstrel that's performing little tunes on a mandolin, and y'all go inside and find a place by the fireplace and sit down. You're supposed to be meeting a guy that you normally do meet, where you sell your stuff, your wood carvings and stuff like that. And y'all usually stay like a day or so or something like that. And then y'all end up heading back to Kelvin's Cairn. That's where most of y'all live, except for him. You've been staying in Byron Shander, but you've been traveling with him. I'm just going to turn you loose for a bit. Now, y'all been on the road for about a day and a half. Y'all just got back. Y'all got back to the inn in Byron Shander. What do you do?
Getting something to eat and drink. I don't eat meat.
Does everybody keep track of their gold?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I told you to.
Yeah, we even have positions of where our gold is.
Mine's on me.
Mine's on me.
Everything I got. So.
All right.
We have
Well, what are
locations.
they?
We have locations written.
I'm gonna start carousing around
Oh,
the land, just kind of looking for stuff.
I'm on
I'm
fire.
just walking around.
Just behave.
I'm gonna get me a mug of ale or whatever, and just start carousing around, talking to people.
Are we all sitting at the same table? Or are we
Yeah.
going to the
We will later.
Y'all are
right
sitting
now,
by
we're
the
kind of
fireplace.
spread
I
out.
want something hot to drink. What do you got?
Just the standard stuff.
Some
It's been a
meat.
while, so what's the standard stuff? Hot ale or something like that?
Some meat and
Cokes,
stew.
Diet Pepsis.
Yeah. I'm sure they got
Yeah, I'm sure they got
Cokes,
that.
Zero Sprite.
Dinner proceeds without incident, which is amazing.
Amazing.
I was trying to get in trouble, and you wouldn't let me.
That's why I went
Put
ahead and
myself out
proceeded
there.
with
He
this.
like yanked you back to the table.
What do you want to take off for his gold?
We'll say 2 gold will get you a room, and we'll feed you for tonight and in the morning.
Who's sharing a room with him to watch out for you? You get to share a room. So you only have to split 1 gold apiece.
That's all right. You'll never know I'm in your room.
You better not be
Everybody
in
want
my
separate
room.
rooms, or anybody want to shack up and bunk together, or we all getting shack? Y'all figure it out.
Bump, bump.
And well, it might, because I'm gonna roll for encounters and this and that. So, is anybody getting a room with anybody else, or is everybody getting separate rooms? Let's
Those
see.
two are
Hold on.
bunking.
To save money, I said we just thought we get a large room.
Ooh.
Boy, I just feel a love in the
There's
room.
only 4 rooms open for tonight that can be used.
How many beds are in the room?
2. Well, hold on.
I'm definitely not banking on that.
Hold
place.
on. Might have to run him off in the woods.
Which I
I ain't
don't.
sleeping in the cold. You can get my butt.
I don't sleep.
Yeah,
so it don't
there's a
really
blizzard.
matter.
All right, you got one room that's got 1 bed, and the other 3 have 2 beds.
I don't sleep, so it don't matter with me.
You don't?
No,
He's
all I
elf.
do is meditate.
Oh, that's right.
I don't,
So-
I'll never have to lay down.
Well, then you can sit in a room with somebody and meditate.
And I'll know if anybody comes in or anything.
So who's bunking up? Because
You
there's
all want me
4
to
of
stay
y'all.
bunk with him, but I'm not. Y'all can help keep an eye on him. I say, we need what? They can't move a bed into there?
Huh?
They won't move a bed in there?
All you need.
There are no beds.
They won't move from one
Cots that's in the room.
How big are the
Yeah,
beds?
if you want to.
All right, so
Little
there's
cots.
there's
Thing.
4
There's
rooms.
only 2 of them, 2 beds.
Per room, yeah. 3 rooms have 2 cots or 2 single beds, I'd say, and then
Well,
one
I
has
can't be
2.
in all the rooms, so whoever wants. The other ones, just everybody wants to go
And
to
all
sleep.
the rooms gonna be together, like 1, 2, or right there, or they can be
Are
scattered?
you 2 in game hooked up or something? We
Oh,
kind of get that
no.
out the way. No?
No.
How are you 2? We need to
right now
kinda-
we're just fine. I mean,
No, I mean,
He hasn't
Friends.
pissed me off. He
y'all ain't
hasn't
like
pissed me off yet.
y'all ain't like bumped heels or nothing like that. What's the black saying for that? Like,
Oh God.
what?
Is he making,
Let's
is he
you
making,
ain't went to the end
is he
zone
making this
and
racial now?
let,
Huh?
I always make it.
let's go ahead.
Dude,
Let's
on
go
the-
ahead and
on
get
my
this.
phone, his picture when he calls me, it shows him standing there going with a great drink. You can't get no more than that. That's the
He's
picture.
snapping that too.
great day.
Yeah, I got a purple drink.
We're friendly because we're on the same team, but we're never connected like that.
Okay,
and
so
then-
y'all ain't like messing
Not
around.
friends like you would with everybody
All right,
else.
so somebody needs to double bunk or be on. No, actually, there's that
That's
works.
what I was gonna say. If he
Yeah,
took
you
a
got-
room and then we took one together, and
Okay.
then those 2 took one together, we.
So
just,
is Ill Wiki Mickey by? Are y'all leaving him by himself?
he is with him.
Okay, so
Those 2 are splitting a room.
Ill,
We're not
do you
giving
have
him a
anything to
choice.
say about that?
No.
He's like, I could leave if I wanted to.
Those, I'll just pick him up by the collar and put him down.
And you're leaving the old dwarf in a room by himself.
I mean, him and I mean,
Everybody knows
you're not
he's-
sleeping, so you
Everybody
can,
knows he's with us. So all of us really
if you're
have to
not
be careful.
sleeping, then you can stay with her in the single room. All right.
Whichever. I'll just. He's meditating. I don't really care. I
Well,
got
I'm-
religious.
Who
I'm
are
no
we
Three of us can
nominating?
stay in a room. I don't have to have a cot.
Yeah,
I'll just stay in the
she
same
should
room.
feel comfortable with that
Who?
because of my.
Yeah.
He's
you know, being
chivalrous,
my
they'll be
You're not,
fine.
you're not. You wouldn't take advantage of her.
And he'll be up all night, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He meditates, so he doesn't need a bed. So you take the single bed,
I'm trying to learn more about religion anyway. I stick with him.
and they two can have the bed. I can sleep on the floor.
While they're
I'll
all
sleep on the
arguing
floor.
about this, I'm going to sleep.
Well, no. We ain't got there yet. We're setting
We
up.
ain't
So
even
y'all
got
pay
the
for rooms
rooms
and
yet.
this and that. Okay. All right, you guys are.
I took the gold out and paid for it.
Oh, what I was going to ask y'all we need to go ahead and set out a marching order and maybe I mean
Well, I know where I'm at.
Well, yeah. How are the marching order behind him when y'all are traveling? That's the thing. Y'all figure it out.
And you need to.
You need
once-
your 2 tanks up front, which would be you and him.
I mean, you
Well,
can jump in, John. Now,
you
come
need
on.
to start-
Oh,
Where do you want?
I
Where
mean,
do
you
you want?
I
need to
can-
jump
I
in.
can take up
I mean,
the back.
this
Where do you
starting
want
out
to
the thing. It's a little slow, but we got to
Give me
get all
20.
this out. Once it gets going, though, but we got. I mean, there's a marching order.
You should be behind the dwarf. That's the
Okay.
best protection. And then the
I'm gonna
thing-
be. I'll be advanced. I'm gonna go up front.
he ain't gonna live long.
You ain't gonna live
All
long.
right.
I mean,
No,
I can-
I just hey.
You're not gonna be sneaking because unless you're way in front of us, because I'm wearing full plate armor, and he's wearing plate mail armor.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
No,
be
you're
ready.
wearing splint, which is right under plate. This next best thing is
Well,
plate.
how did he get one armor class?
or whatever it is with sword and shield and his deck.
Yeah.
Well, all that's together.
I got chain armor.
Your armor, when it should is your negative or your armor class, the shield's considered in with it, unless it's leather. It's not anything above leather. Your shield's automatically added into it. It just says it in there.
No, because it's got it separate. I looked at it.
Okay.
It's got
Well,
like
I
split.
got a lower armor class then.
Well, whatever. No, I told you to do this before we started.
I tried, but you always got mad every time I said
Because
something.
I'd be doing something and you do it on purpose to aggravate me.
No,
I'm trying to help.
He ain't never happy. He won't happy
Alright,
when I
you
pick
got
a
it.
name. He ain't happy when we.
Oh,
Look at
dear
the armor.
Lord.
It says with
Shield.
shield.
Yeah, plate and shield 2.
Right.
Armor class 2.
But, yeah, plate and shield. He's not got plate, he said.
He's got. Hey, but your regular armor class is what now? -2 with the dex.
You talking about mine?
Yes.
Yeah, full plate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Split or
Yeah,
banded
he's
plus
already
shield is 3. And then what's your dex?
But I ain't telling everybody what my plate is. We try to get one more for you.
I know that.
Okay,
But what's your dex?
16.
That's -2, so you have a 1 armor class. Yeah. With all his, yours is -2 with all your
What's he
bonuses.
wearing?
Split with a shield.
What does it say was split?
1 or 3, but he has dex of 16, which gives him a -2. He has a 1 armor class.
But that's with the shield. Okay.
Yeah, it tells you right there in the book. He has a 1 armor class. Now, back to what I was getting at. Be quiet.
I
I don't
That
know.
was
You're
right,
talking about you're
again.
gonna run up front. There's really no need to run up front.
I thought it was the
I
same as
wouldn't
chain.
think.
There will be a time.
Well, for you, there's no need to it, but.
All right, now, there's 3 candidates, and it's not, party leader is actually,
You stay within your shot. That way you-
party leader is actually,
Don't have back here with you. You can hear.
we'll wait till he's done.
Well,
Hey, this is between me and him.
You're involved in this, and I'm fixing to say you need to pay attention.
All right, good.
He's
Party leader is not an easy job,
I
but
know.
you need to have someone that is the.
Well,
You
he's
need to have
he's
one
probably
person.
the most knowledgeable about the game. Him and him. One of the two.
I'm not entirely sure he's the right choice for the job because of how his mentality
It
is.
doesn't make a difference.
jump.
My character will not allow anybody else to lead the party.
Yeah, it won't.
Yeah.
Even
He's got
someone
that
that you look at
chivalry.
as a father figure.
You won't let
He'll protect him.
Now, he'll think of him as father figure, but you got to look at my character. Read the
All right,
character.
which one
here.
are
All right, everybody okay with that?
That's fine with me.
That's fine.
Well, for my
Pops?
character, for my
Your
character,
son,
concerned.
he wanting to be the
I'm
leader.
gonna let him think.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, dear Lord. Where are you in the lineup? Because already
He's
we're
behind
1,
you.
2, 3.
Oh yeah,
Unless
marching
he's
order.
running-
What's
unless
marching
he's
order?
running
1.
What's
Two,
his armor
2.
class?
I'm gonna be your scout.
What's your armor class? It ain't
4.
good. Yeah, that's all right.
But nobody's gonna see me.
What are we
Yeah,
doing?
I'm
Throwing
3
you
foot,
into
I'm
the
3'8". I've got a
How
dex
far
of
ahead is he?
18.
I do have
I
a
can
bird.
hide. I got a
How far
90% hide and shadow.
What is the marching order?
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
4. He'll be
I thought he
scout
was-
basically, so he won't really be in the marching order.
Oh.
He'll be up in front of us.
And where are you?
I'll be the
I
last.
think
one
this is a
in the rear.
bad idea.
Alright. The ranger, the woodsman, bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
We're so doomed.
He's the one that actually should be ahead.
Yep. Here we are, though. That's where we're running. Dinner proceeds
That's
without
what we
incident. I want to make sure you did hear that, right?
I did.
Okay.
You can't change the picking order from one to another?
You can, but we'll try.
I
it
mean,
out.
really, the ranger should
I
be
should
up
be up front,
front.
but I thought that's what you wanted to do, so I wasn't like you
But,
wanted.
I mean, whatever. I'll do whatever y'all want me to
Well,
do. I'm just.
As long as we're in the snow, it doesn't matter.
Stay in
I mean,
everybody's
nobody's gonna sneak
footprints.
up on anybody right here in the middle of
In the wilderness,
Yeah.
I'll take
probably
the
be
The
him.
best person to be in
In
the
the-
lead in
I
the
got
snow.
track in
would
the
be
middle
me.
there. I can see tracks.
But in all other instances, probably you sneaking around.
Usually the first person to get attacked is the leader. And I got by far the best armor class.
I'm gonna let you get attacked. I ain't. I mean,
No, you ain't gonna step in front of me.
I ain't gonna step in front.
You gonna get the bad missing no matter who.
no, I mean,
All right, dinner.
nobody's gonna see me. I don't,
Exactly.
Yeah, you under the snow.
All he's gonna do is hide under a bush.
Titmouse, you be.
No, just bend over and he'd be under the snow if
Oh,
he's not
God.
already under the snow.
Dinner proceeds without incident
Then
until
can
you
pop up and
notice
shoot somebody.
an old peasant entering the building, entering the inn. he to speak. He walks over to speak to the proprietor. Which I think I've ad-libbed on this and expanded it a little bit more. So I'm gonna read it off of here.
I can't find my 20s.
Dinner proceeds without any peasant enter the building. All
So
right.
It should be 7. That's not.
Yeah. The old man walks into the inn and he goes over to speak with the proprietor, who is named Old Toby. He's the guy that runs the inn. Thereafter, Old Toby halts the minstrel's rendition of Greensleeves, asking those that are in the inn to lend an ear. Nervously, the old man clears his throat and begins to tell his little tale. He says, "My name is Barnabas. My name is Barnabas. I'm an elder from the hamlet of Nix, just outside the Lonely Wood Forest, northeast of Bryan Shander. Just over the mountains from here, which is pretty much the direction y'all came from, but a little north. 2 months ago, we became aware of a presence of a giant dwelling in the Lonely Wood. A large, I don't know why I repeated that again, a large forest to the north of our town. For a time, the creature contented itself with roaming the wood, but for the last fortnight, which is 30 days, it has taken to raiding our farm, stealing our sheep, goats, and recently it stole a cow. Although the good witch dwells in the Lonely Wood, who would no doubt help us against this monster, we have not seen her in several months, and we've been afraid to enter the forest or even try to seek her out. The people of Nix are just simple folk, not warriors, and all fear that the giant will become even more bolder in his attacks. We have no goods or of value to pay for mercenaries, but I asked if there is anyone here who would aid us against this foe. Please let me know." And he's
A
looking
giant?
around. He says a giant.
And the man's talking as human.
He's an old man, probably in his 60s.
Did he let us ask any questions?
Yeah, I mean, he's looking around to see if there's anyone that wants to step up.
Does he know what type of giant it is?
No, well, they're farmers. They don't know.
I thought
Witch.
you said the woods, but I thought this was like an open plain in the tundra.
It is.
No.
But I
This is
mean,
not in the tundra where he's talking
How
about.
far
Is
away?
it's north of Bryan Shander. He didn't say. I mean,
How many
he's
days travel?
3, maybe 4.
What race is the witch?
She's an elf.
And she's a witch?
Wow.
She's a good witch.
Probably a magic user. You think
White
she's a
witch?
witch.
Do they call them that? I don't know.
I've never known the other witch. But anyway, okay. Nobody else in
Establishment.
There's nobody really in the inn right now that looks like they're adventurers. Not really.
Okay, are we starting
A lot of
out
local
now or in the
townspeople.
morning?
Something I don't care about, my characters don't care about, but the thief and others would probably be, is there any pay in it? My
No.
character would be.
They don't really have any, just what you find on it.
Well, I'm not asking, I'm gonna see if they wanna ask. My character would do it just cause it's the right
The ones
thing.
that would be more interested in the money would be getting paid, would be the
Give the
dwarf
dwarf and the thief.
and the
Thief.
thief. You really don't care.
Not
and-
too interested in
I
it,
don't
but yeah, I
care.
don't want. You know, yeah, 3 days trek. We gotta get the food and everything else to keep us going for 3 days.
Is there somewhere we can stay once we get there?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, they have it's like a little hamlet that he's from.
I'm pretty sure they'll put us up if we need to address her.
Sure, go for it.
And feed us.
Yeah,
You
we
wanna
have
ask if any monetary
Brother
gain-
man, you want to speak up? Talk to the man. Huh?
No, I know the thief would be asking, is there any
Yeah.
monetary gain in this?
He's like, no. Which he already said that they don't really have a lot of valued goods or anything that they could pay you.
What do you have?
That's the thief.
Nothing really. I mean, they don't. It's a poor hamlet. It's a farming village.
Farms?
The giant might have something, so you're gonna be all right there.
Yeah.
I asked any more.
It ain't
knowledge.
crushed at first.
Farms have animals that can be sold. Houses, property,
Oh my
land.
goodness.
Oh, well,
No,
I love
he
his
ain't gonna
thing.
let you do that.
Well, go ahead and make the offer.
Kaylis, what's your thoughts
I'm
on
game.
What are we waiting on?
I'm waiting.
it? Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go, Shell.
Yeah, what time of day is it? Have we had our sleep, or is it
no.
next morning?
It's nighttime now. I mean, it's just about dark when y'all were.
Now we're gonna talk.
Listen,
and
guys,
say, does
Listen, y'all really have to start thinking a little bit before you take a step forward. I mean, yes, we want to go and help these people out. It's the right thing to do.
Coming
But
from the thief, that scared the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah, no, right.
we also have to look after each other. So why don't we talk a little more about this? See what you have. What kind of even though you might not
he's
think it's
negotiating for some
valuable.
compensation.
You know, little gnome, you take too much stock.
we're discussing this among the party.
Yeah.
Right. And
I'm just waiting to see what my party members saying before I say anything.
Barnabas, he's talking to old Toby. He's like, I don't think anybody here wants the job.
Mickey Wicky, I will give you a gold if you just sign up and be done with it.
Has everybody said what they want to say? I'm going to help these people. They're poor.
Are you coming with us?
You've been
Of course
outvoted.
I am. Of course I am. I said I wanted to come and help these people.
Oh, of
We'll
course you
worry about
did.
We'll worry about that later. Let's
I just want to make sure that
Is
we're,
it
right,
that we're
John,
taking care of each other.
Yeah.
John
Because
might
I
have
care
more.
about you
Yes,
guys.
I know you do.
Shell, go ahead and
But
go
you
take
may-
care of
there may be so
Barnabas,
much
please.
gold or
We're
whatever
not-
treasure
we're not
that night,
taking-
you won't be
we're
able
not
to carry it all
taking
back,
anything
so
to
you
the
won't have to worry about farm.
Caleb's don't care. He's eating his prime rib and drinking his ale.
I've got
waiting
my
on
meat
y'all to
and
decide
my
what
stew.
we're
I go
gonna
over and
do.
tell the
Well, you know we're going to go with him.
I go over and tell them the party's going to help. And when do we leave out the game?
All right, the guy's very grateful. Oh, thank you. He says, I don't know what we were going to do. We're fearing at any time this giant's going to come back and just start killing people just because he's getting more brave with his attacks.
I also asked him how he got here, and is he going to be able to get back safely?
He really didn't say. I'm gonna say
I
that
know this is something you got yourself top of your head.
he came in with a trade caravan wagon.
There's
Don't
no
go
need
back
that.
that
There's
way.
no need setting
No,
out
he-
tonight. In this
No,
blizzard
no,
and this
no,
in the
it's
dark,
too
we
late.
end up getting lost.
Yeah, but I want to know, make sure this guy's going to get back safely. Do we need to go back with us, or do we have a safe way of getting back by himself?
Well, do we know exactly what he's talking about? Do we know what we're
He
going?
is.
Yeah.
Well, Toby knows him, and we know Toby.
He is
Does he
going
have-
to. Huh?
Does he have like a map of where we're going?
Yeah. He is. Yeah. He is going to leave out tonight. He has people that's going back,
Caravan.
but he's gonna leave a map and with strict directions on how to get there.
They don't have room for us?
Well, they really don't want us to go in here, man.
Huh?
It's something you have to read between the lines.
Well, I mean, y'all been traveling all day,
Yeah.
and
we're
you don't want
tired.
a 60-something-year-old farmer having to tag along with y'all.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of making it convenient.
Yeah.
And he was talking about traveling with the caravan. I said, we're not supposed to travel.
Well,
with the caravan.
even if y'all wanted to, I mean, y'all been traveling since
Yeah.
probably
We
daylight
could lay down in the wagon.
through a blizzard.
I won't say it.
Which is still there.
All right.
We don't
Because
supposed
he
to.
said the blizzard's let up yet, so we'll be traveling at night in a blizzard. We already can't see.
We'll be sleeping in the wagons.
Yeah,
But
well.
we're not going to still do it.
Alright, I'm paying for our room and I'm going to bed.
Yeah, she's paying.
I've already marked mine off.
Yeah, I did too.
As far as asking
if-
for
I paid
details,
the gold for us.
Can we,
for
is the rooms kind of, we want to get those two rooms we can adjoining. In case if I hear a ruckus, I can go to the other room. Cause I'll probably be the only one that's don't have armor on.
Alright, it's
Old-fashioned
two gold
one.
for a night, so we can split it
Yeah,
one
I'm
and
the
one.
only one that does have armor on.
I just
Right.
had a giant.
Oh, put it this way: do they have adjoining rooms?
Oh,
and
God.
does the rooms have a door between the two, like a hotel room has two doors, or is it would you have to go out into the other room?
I think the whole two gold.
nope,
No
No
adjoining.
adjoining rooms?
no, I'm talking
What's
about no.
No what?
Just no.
They're separate rooms.
I know they're separate rooms.
They don't have adjoining doors.
No, I don't mean adjoining doors.
Well,
Are they
I'm
next
asking
door
his
to-
question.
That's yeah. But are
He
they
was
next to each other
asking.
now? Are
Huh?
they next to each other?
Are
or
they
across?
next?
Yeah, they're
or-
next to each other, but they don't have adjoining doors.
They're
Okay.
thin walls.
I can
We're
go on,
here
I'm
if you-
just in.
and we're
Alright,
here
you
if
said
you
each
want
room
to.
was 2 gold, right?
Dwarf through the
Yeah.
wall.
So if we take 1 gold apiece between us, then that pays for our room, right?
Yeah,
so
that'll pay
it's,
for the room.
we got,
So I need to.
Well, you pay for
did
the
that
room first,
include
and
the
then you pay
food?
for a second. That's what I'm
Yes,
doing here.
no, 2 gold for the food, for the night's food, tomorrow morning, and the room.
I done two.
Per
two
person?
gold off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
per
oh,
person.
okay.
Understand
That's what I
just
was
what
trying to
the-
make
and the
sure.
Room and the food.
All right, if asked about additional details about the giant, he can offer little. Nobody has actually ever seen it clearly, because he always attacks at night. No one is really anxious to really get close to the thing. Rumor naturally places the height of the creature at least on par with that of a 2-story house. And his huge footprints can be seen leading to and from the Tanglewood Forest. Yeah, so I mean,
You said he only attacks at night. Has he attacked?
no, he only raids at night.
Only raids.
at night,
And
okay.
he does it at
So
night.
he
Which,
hasn't killed anybody.
yeah.
Not
He
yet.
hadn't heard
And he
anything.
does it at night, which means it could be a whole ploy against the farmers to make them think there's something out there when there ain't nothing really out.
And like I say, the rumors clearly put it at like 2 stories tall.
Rumors.
As for the good witch, dwelling in the woods, Barnabas is able to relate that she is a beautiful elf who sometimes assists the villagers as a healer and counselor, she's especially popular with the children. The nameless witch has a house somewhere within the woods, but she hasn't visited the village in several months now, which now they have fears that this 2-story tall giant has killed her. So,
Has any of the children like this?
mm-mm.
So
No.
she ain't killing children. She
Um,
must be good.
Barnabas is a simple man, and then he says that he refused all offers for a room and everything.
Anybody gone missing in the town?
No,
So nobody's gone missing. Okay.
it's
It's
just
just-
farm animals and
That's
stuff that
animals.
he's stealing to eat and stuff.
So he's
Nah,
hungry.
The real giant wouldn't be.
They're just scared that
They
you know
expect
his
the giant.
attacks are getting a little bit more aggressive every time he comes in. Well, not attacks, but his raids are getting a little bit more aggressive each time he raids the hamlet, and they're scared that it's coming to a head to where he might actually hurt or kill someone. And so it's gotten to the point to where Barnabas has come to Brian Chandler, since it's the largest city in Icewind Dale, to try to find someone to help.
All right, we're resting for tonight. We're resting for tonight.
All right, Barnabas takes his leave.
I want to steal something.
Yeah, we know. That's why you're
Well,
in the
you're in the
room.
room with
Felthorn.
Telephone.
Hopefully everybody will remember everybody's names over time.
Did
I
you
got
look
it
to see
right.
what he had on?
That's
Phil,
what
Caleb,
I was trying
Laura,
to get. I was trying to
Phil.
get his
Get
attention.
you with-
I'm listening. Here.
Huh?
There you go.
Oh God! Oh, the notes are passing.
God help us.
I'm glad I was looking after him.
Oh
He
my
touches my
God.
stuff, I'm gonna cut him.
Did you super glue this?
Oh, is that what you were doing with that?
Yeah, he's writing notes.
Get it open.
You don't have to worry about your stuff.
Yeah.
You won't come in the room.
Oh no!
I guarantee you, if his hands get caught where my stuff is, he'll be
Seriously,
in trouble.
No,
the thief passes the DM a
he won't
note,
make
and
it
the
past the
DM
door.
can't open the note.
He won't make it past the door.
Can you get the note? Oh, I got it.
About time.
It's upside down. I
There's a
can't read it. It's too small.
There's a fix for that.
I'm trying to take something from me, man.
Bless you.
Where? Downstairs.
Yeah, downstairs where we met the guy. I'm just kind of everybody's. I'm just a little guy. I'm kind of like hiding behind.
All right, now,
Just kind of walking around with my little mug.
Yeah.
Go put
is
your
this
bag.
before everybody goes up? Oh boy.
Oh,
He's
Lord.
been pickpocketing people.
Uh-huh.
Boy.
I guarantee you what it is. You've been walking around.
Dude,
pickpocketing.
We don't know
I have
he
no-
is.
I have no idea.
I
what
took
you're
my
talking
eyes off of him.
I have no idea what you're talking
What was that in your
about.
profile? How
I'm
did you
just-
feel about that thief? Again, you wasn't sure about him?
I'm just looking around.
They
Just-
dropped it, I swear.
I'm just looking
No,
around.
you
I'm,
found it
I'm
there on the
looking.
floor.
I'm listening.
Luckily,
You're a first level thief, so your chances are not great.
No,
he don't know he's a first level. He thinks he's like 10. Luckily for you, you really don't see a lot of people in here that look like they got anything of real value. And you don't really see a lot of money changing hands. Like I say, there's only like maybe a dozen people in here, and most of them are like local townspeople. I mean, if I'd got a little bit higher roll, I would say yeah, maybe one guy sitting, but nah. Not by that. Not tonight, at least. And I'll go ahead and say, I am not gonna. If he says he's doing something, and I make the roll, and it's high enough that he's doing it, I'm not gonna try to coerce him otherwise. So
That's personal choice.
oh,
Explain to him the type of people that are here.
Yeah.
yeah.
These are not farmers.
These are people live in Brian Shander since it's the main populace
They've
is.
been warring against one another.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cutthroats in there. And might want to check your own purses. Oh yeah, there's something that I need to tell everybody too that I already told him, and I kind of talked to him about it too when he got here before everybody showed up. I do not throw dice. I don't. If something horrible happens with a dice roll, it happens. I don't. If you die, you die. Don't be stupid. Don't run in. Let me look at it. Don't be stupid. Don't do stupid shit.
You don't hold back.
I am no.
Because
That's why I got another character already prepared.
yeah, him of all, cause he's gonna charge right in the middle of every fight y'all have.
I know he's not going to pull the dice.
I don't, because if you have a DM that pulls dice, that it's like, well, fuck, that's gonna kill him. All right, well, you're almost dead. No, that takes the fear of dying away. You can, if you've got that safety net to where you're like, well, odds are he's not gonna kill us off. Then to me, it takes fun out of it. If you die in my adventure, you die. Period. And
That's all right. I got another character made up.
Yeah, when I was DMing, asked him how many times the whole party.
I got a bunch of characters in there.
There's one.
he has damned me with other people through the Temple of Elemental Evil like 3 times, and we've wiped
The whole party.
every time. We never made it past the moat house, I believe.
No, you never made it to the temple.
Yeah.
That's
So
like we were playing with somebody. He decides he's gonna run at a harpoon.
run
Gosh,
it
yeah, run at something that was shooting a harpoon out, like one of the huge.
That sounds like you.
Trebuchet, not
Why
trebuchet.
did I charge a on Russian dragon?
He tried. They were in an adventure one time to where they stepped through a portal and it took them to modern times in a desert. They didn't know that, and they were standing, and it was a long road in the middle of a desert, and it was dark. Yeah, and it was dark, and it was a damn 18-wheeler coming down the road. But the way it was described was a one-eyed dragon blowing smoke, roaring.
Now, I actually myself knew what it was, but my character
Did-
thought it was a
So,
dragon.
and it's barreling down the road. It's blowing the horn. Well, in his eyes, it's roaring at him. He's
Coming
blowing the
towards
horn,
my
telling
party
him to get the
members.
hell out of the way. So what does he do? He
He
charges.
charges.
Lower my lance.
Head on with a damn 18-wheeler with a headlight blown out.
Oh my god!
And through the rest of the adventure, what didn't kill me, but I was knocked below. And so I'm just laying around and toting me around.
That's what we ended up doing half time. I'm like, just go ahead and kill him off and leave.
The big heart.
Another
big-
thing
big-
too, remember bind wounds. I pretty much give that. Everybody knows how to bind a wound. If you have a skill in binding wounds, you can actually, when you bind a wound one time per wound, you can give them back 1 hit point. But binding wounds, if say John's dwarf gets knocked below 0 hit points, and in case y'all didn't know, now when you hit 0 hit points, you're unconscious.
Yeah.
And at negative 10,
Negative 10,
you
you're
dead. If he gets struck by a weapon and it knocks him below or at 0 hit points and he's unconscious, he will lose 1 hit point a turn, bleeding to death until someone binds his wounds. Don't matter if you're in neck to neck combat or not. And he'll lay there and bleed to death in 10 turns, 1 point a turn, unless somebody binds his wounds. And he can't say, "Hey, I'm laying here. Somebody needs to bind my." He's dead. I mean, he's unconscious, so he can't say nothing. Or vice versa, anybody else in this group. So remember that.
Now,
So you're going.
I don't go unconscious when I go below 0.
You go to negative, what is it?
13, I think.
Something like that. But then you're dead. Yeah, he don't have unconscious.
I don't have.
He
I
just
go
fights
from-
until he dies. So, and it gives him an extra negative. He can go negative, but then when the fight's over with, he's pretty much done. I mean, and then you treat him like he's not unconscious, but he ain't doing shit.
I can defend myself and walk around, but I can't fight after that.
All right.
If she heals me up, I can.
Let me make
Yeah,
a quick
basics.
roll. Let me make. I
Cure
need to
light
just keep
wounds.
these over here by themselves.
That's all there.
Oh. All right. All right. Anyway,
Broke into the room. Trying to kill us.
so I'm assuming everybody's gonna go up the room since there weren't nothing for you to steal. Oh shit! We're state prison. Nope.
What prison was it that just lost like 20 people?
Holy crap.
Probably any prison in Northern.
No, there was one that just had a big bust.
Oh, yeah, I
Big,
heard
big
about that.
bust.
A state prison?
Yeah, they had there was so many cell
Autry.
phones and everything else.
They had what now?
When did this happen?
Not here recently.
It was
I heard about that.
actually it was a large conspiracy. They ended up arresting 54 people.
Wow.
They had 4 officers, 11 ex-officers,
Holy
20
shit!
20-something inmates.
What count was
A
this?
bunch of Autry State Prison.
That makes sense. That
But-
place
but
off the
now,
chain.
investigation been going on for 2 years.
Yeah, they
Where's that at?
tax squad went up there, Turner with the tax squad,
Right.
and he said they had the FBI and everybody was there, and
Wow.
all the people from
Okay.
way up top, they were all there.
All right. I'm assuming everybody's going up to their rooms. Anybody doing anything different?
Oh, yeah, I was. I mean,
Well, I mean, you got to tell me.
to the room. Get
I
some
make
shot for tonight.
a little seat to say it again.
He won't let me steal anything.
I got my,
There's nothing to steal. I rolled.
I got my sword
Yeah,
in my
there's
lap
always
and
something
leaned
to
against the
steal.
wall.
All right.
And I have
Well, these
my
guys-
arm on, I don't have to take my arm off.
Okay, y'all go up. We'll say around like 10:30 at night. We'll say. Barnabas has already left.
Who's got the map?
Party
Who
later.
actually got the map? You
Yeah,
actually
you
got
don't
the
have
map
the
rolled
map.
up with you?
I don't do maps.
Oh, you don't do maps?
I don't.
I'll
I'm
take it.
blind. I hate to
Give it
back
to
thing.
I'll
Dwarf.
take the map.
No,
Jennifer's-
give it to
Character.
Dwarf.
I'll take the
My
map.
character
No.
Give me
has
the
the
map.
map.
No.
The
Dwarf.
dwarf.
I am
Yes,
good.
actually, but well,
Listen,
anybody-
Dwarf.
ain't nobody gonna steal it from me. They're probably gonna steal it from y'all. Of course,
Ah,
I'm probably
give it-
gonna steal it from y'all. But
I'll give it to the dwarf.
Give it to Dwarf. I can already see it. You'll take a pencil or a quill or whatever and just be like,
No.
just take a left.
Let's go this way. Go this way.
Now we our characters. The dwarf makes the best map. Now for us,
Exactly.
Before it's us, it'd be up to him if he wants to do it. But the dwarf always makes a better map.
Makes a better map.
He'll know the area better. He'll be able to write it.
Oh yeah, keeping it doesn't matter.
Okay, let
You-
the dwarf keep it. Or let no keep it.
I don't know about that.
He can look it over and make sure it's right.
I'll say let the cleric keep it.
Oh, God.
Well,
No, I keep it. That's fine.
oh, who's gonna keep it then?
That's who I trust the most.
Who do you trust the most?
Are you,
I'm in the room with him.
the dwarf, and the cleric?
the whole party except for me. I see how this is going.
No, I like the gnome.
We love you.
I'm
It's
pulling
just
for
we
you.
understand
I'm pulling for you to
your
make
personality.
it. My character would be very disappointed if he had to, do something.
He'd be very upset if he had this.
I love you and all. You're a good friend, but time to die. Yeah, screwed up.
Just wait. I mean,
No, I
I've
don't want you
I've
to.
been keeping y'all alive this whole time.
I will stand in.
I mean,
Listen,
really, I see how it is. I see
I
how
will
it is.
stand in
That's
battle
all right.
and die to protect you.
Mhm.
He just don't trust you as far as
We're
he can
just
throw
trying
you.
to help keep you straight while we're in town.
I'm
Everybody's not as forgiving as
I'm
we are.
praying to my
I don't
deity.
trust me either.
I'm praying to,
See there?
I'm praying to my deity that you make it. I mean,
Yeah.
even if you wasn't, even if you were
We're
kind
saying
of
prayers and
good-aligned,
meditations before bed.
thief is still
You hear something
usually the first
downstairs.
character to die.
It's a commotion.
Shell
You would. Let me see. Hold on. You.
might want to put
Who?
on.
She's asleep and I'm awake and
And
she's.
I heard it.
Well, it's the way the rooms are positioned. I have rogue walk
I'm in the
room.
room with her.
Oh, are you in the room?
Yeah.
Yes, we're in the
Okay,
same
well
room.
then you. Huh?
We're in the
I would
same
get it
room.
if anybody.
All right.
And
Okay. You two hear the commotion
I got the
downstairs.
big spark here.
Sounds like glasses breaking or just
From where, John?
downstairs?
Did Falthorn like make you wiki out of the room?
I wake the
I'm asleep. As far as he knows, I haven't heard nothing.
I
He said
wake
anything.
the cleric
So I
and
was
tell
so
her
asleep.
to, still wake till I get back. I got to check them.
I heard it, so I'm up.